We are here on campus at Reeltown High School with head coach Matt Johnson, who is right here about to play in the semifinals game once again, Coach. And first of all, thank you for having us back out here.
Absolutely.
It's been a while. This season's been very busy for me, so some of my coaches' shows, unfortunately, has dwindled down, so now I can get out of Gadsden and the surrounding areas and go do some stops, and this was one of them I told you earlier this year I wanted to come do, so I'm here. Coach, you guys seem to have gotten it clicking this season again. You guys are playing really high-level football. It's getting noticed everywhere. You know, it's people all over our area in the north, people all over in the south. People's asking me 100 questions about you guys, and I was like, well, I haven't got to lay eyes on them. I've seen them on film. What I've seen is very good football. But again, it's nothing new to this area and the things you guys have done, especially yourself here at Reeltown. Just take us through this season, Coach, and how this team's got to where it is right now.
Right. Well, you know, we returned a lot of guys back from last year. We lost a good senior bunch, no doubt, from last season. And, you know, we got to the third round. I think we ended up winning 10 straight to finish the year. And B.B. Comer knocked us out in the quarterfinals. So, guys had a great offseason, really worked hard in the weight room and were really focused and really started gelling as a team. And, you know, we had to kind of move some things around offensively up front, on both sides of football up front. That was where our big losses were, and we developed that continuity, and you know, you got to gel up front. You know that it's football, and that started happening, and we've been fortunate overall with injuries. We've had a couple of guys that had some season-ending stuff that were impact guys, but overall we've been fortunate in that area. And you know, in a really tough region, we talk about this region all the time. The top 5 teams in this region, you know, could you know, win multiple playoff games. So there's a good team in our region that's left out the past couple of years. And so getting through that region, you know, you're facing a really good team. So the whole iron sharpening iron, you know, deal is in place there. So you know, we got through our region, played Highland home at the end of the year, which was a huge game for us, and they got a really good squad. Very talented, and that game could actually went either way. It was here, and our defense stepped up and played a really good game and had a good offensive game plan for trying to keep them off the field and just stay in front of the chain. So we were able to get that game and take care of them 21-14 in a really good matchup, and that took us into the playoffs. You know, first round opponent was a really good team out of Wicksburg, who was really one score away from being region champs down there.
It's incredible.
I think their 3 region losses was by 5 points, 6 points, and a touchdown.
That's incredible.
So I mean, they had a really good team. So out the gate in the playoffs, we faced a really good squad. And then second round, we had Thorsby come in, who does some good things. That is actually a common opponent with our opponent this week, B.B. Comer. It's out of that region. And then we had Cottonwood last week, who is a totally different animal itself.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about this off air. They're a single wing team, a lot of movement offensively, so just a headache to prepare for. But our kids handled the long trip well. It was about a 3-hour drive for us, and you know, to come away with a win and really play one of our better games that we've played in a long time, especially defensively and offensively too. So I was really proud of our kids to get to this point.
The Bible verse, iron sharpen iron, is not in there by mistake, Coach. It's in there.
Absolutely.
And you guys, with that schedule you guys have had up to this point, it definitely is in the Bible for a reason, because you're a testament to that. But here's the positives on that. There ain't no mysteries left about what you got in this locker room. When you see your guys in the fire, so to speak, and out there playing against, you know, D1 competition, some guys that can formation you to death like Cottonwood. What have you learned about these guys over this season? Because each team takes on its own identity.
Right. Well, I've learned not only do we have a lot of talent, which is noticeable on film, but we've got some bangers too. You know, we got some guys who their roles is important, and that role may not get you in the paper every week, which is huge. But also, this is probably one of the highest level football IQ teams that we've had. You know, which enables us to do a lot more on both sides of the football. You know, we're really smart in the back end, so we're able to do multiple checks which helps you adjust to all these multiple looks that you see offensively. I mean, the 3 teams we face in the playoffs are absolutely totally different type teams, and so to be able to adjust to that and stick to our identity at the same time, that's just a testament to how smart these kids are.
Just rewind the clock, 7 to 10 years ago, you had spread or single wing. That's pretty much all you've seen. Now
Yeah.
everybody's experimenting with everything.
I tell you what.
But it prepares you when you do go face an opponent like you're about to face in BB Comer. But before we get into that game, Coach, I went in that weight room just a few minutes ago. You got some wear and tear in there. Those guys get after it in that weight room. I can tell
Oh, yeah.
you guys get after it in there. Talk about that weight room, how it's got this core, these young men ready for each one of these Friday nights and all this preparation, that hard work and sweat equity you've had in that weight room.
Right. Well, that's the foundation of our program, and I think any successful teams that you see, that's where it starts. And a lot of people say the same thing, but that's the truth. If you're going to be successful and still playing ball this time of year,
That's right.
you got to have a good weight program, and our kids have really embraced that. They look forward to it, and it is it's a sweat box, and they get after it, but they love it, and that's the key.
Hey, Coach O'Brien, good friend, we've talked about off the camera here.
Right.
Navy SEAL, he says that the more you sweat and practice, the less you bleed more. I mean, that's a pretty good
Absolutely.
quote. It's a Navy SEAL quote, but it's pretty accurate. in
That's
this
true.
situation. Let's talk about this week's opponent. You guys are going to be facing Adam Fawcett and BB Comer, a familiar foe with you guys. You guys have played them last year, as you said. And they've also you got to see tape on them versus the same athletes you guys have played this year with Thorsby and Highland Home. What have you seen from them?
Really good. They're a really good football team. Fawcett has done a remarkable job, bringing that program back to prominence, and a lot of talent. They're big, they're physical. That goes back to what we were just talking about in the weight room. They've got a lot of strengths. Of course, everybody talks about the running back, the Harris kid, 23, but the quarterback, if you limit 23, which not many people have been able to do, if any, the quarterback's a heck of a ball player. I mean, he could throw up big numbers just like anybody else. They're really good up front. The Harris kid that everybody talks about at running back is probably just as good or better at linebacker. He's just a force.
I think he's a D1 college linebacker.
I agree with that. And if he don't want to be blocked, he's not going to be blocked.
That's correct.
And he's just that type of player. So really good. I mean, there's not a kink in the iron anywhere with their team. It's just they're going to do what they do. We're going to do what we do. It's going to come down to just who does it best.
Coach, when you look at them defensively, what do you see out there? I mean, I've seen them, a couple of times where they got guys where they may be out of position a little bit, but they can get caught back up because they're athletic.
They're very athletic, and they got a number 9 who's not a big kid, plays in the secondary, but he's around the football. He reminds me of our number 9, who he just gets to the ball. But again, they're physical. They're big up front. Number 51, I think he's about 6'4", 250 or somewhere in there, and he's a force. And of course, the guy we already talked about, linebacker, 23. So they're just as good defensively, and I think they're only giving up, single-digit points on the year. So ought to be a really good matchup for us.
Coach, what are your keys, like just turning the spotlight into real talent? I know you're one of them. A lot of great coaches always look at yourself first. What are your keys with your guys heading into this game?
Well, we've got to take care of the football. There's high chance of rain Friday. So last I checked, it's about 90%. Yeah, 80-90%. So both teams, we've got to take care of the football. We've got to establish the run and really get creative in how we do that. And also take advantage when they give us opportunity on play action and throwing the ball on some intermediate routes. It's going to be tough throwing the ball downfield on them, but hit the intermediate routes and play action be key for us. And defensively is limiting the big plays. They're going to get chunks of yards, we know that, but we've got to limit their big plays. Make them sustain drives. Make them have to earn it and not get the big plays that they've been living off of. And a lot of that is they're just that good, But we've got to just limit that and do those 3 things.
The old cliche, make them snap it one more time.
That's right. That's right.
Coach, the weather, man, permitting, I didn't know, I haven't seen it yet, but it would not surprise me if teams didn't start reaching out to teams to move the games to Thursday like they did week 1. Was it
Right.
week 1 or week 2? I can't remember. But it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if you guys have even mentioned that or anything, but it wouldn't surprise me if that didn't start happening some, because the chance of rain can obviously control things. What are some of the things you do? Do you prepare with a bucket of wet balls, or how do you do?
Well, we practice in it.
Gotcha.
You know, if it's
As long
wet.
as it's not lightning.
Right, if it's
You
not
don't
like.
Caddyshack moment, Coach.
No, we don't. And we don't wanna get in a mess in practice. You don't wanna tweak something or pull a growing
Yeah.
in practice, but, you know, if it's wet and if it's misting, we're gonna go out and practice.
There you go.
You know, that's what we've done, and we had a lot of rain here yesterday, so
That's good.
our practice today will be in some really wet conditions.
That's good. It definitely helps. You know, I've seen coaches take 5-gallon buckets of water and just dip the ball and throw it out there.
Right.
I've seen it all, Coach, so it definitely helps. Well, Coach, any final thoughts heading into this all-important semifinals game?
Well, we've got to do what we do, and I know Coach Fawcett have those guys prepared. I consider him a friend of mine. We talk throughout the year,
He's a good dude.
multiple times a week sometimes, and we've just got to do what we do and kind of weather the storm early, because they're going to come out. It's a great atmosphere up there, and just, you know, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a big war, and because both sides are very similar. We got a lot of similarities.
Travel time from here to there's what, like an hour maybe?
About an hour and 40.
About an hour and 40.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. That's going to be a good one, Coach.
Absolutely. We look forward
Coach,
to
I'm actually going to be at that one for at least a little bit, so it's
Hey,
good to see you.
Look
again.
forward to seeing that.
Thank you so much, Coach. That's going to do it for here at Reeltown High School with Coach Matt Johnson. We'll be back with another edition of our Coaches Carousel, leading us up into these semifinals in the ASHAA. Thank you.